Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Imagine holding a time machine in the palm of your hand, a small metal disc that can tell you a story of epic conquests, booming economies, and devastating collapses. That's exactly what a Roman coin is. It's not just money, it's a headline, a piece of propaganda, and a window straight into the soul of one of the greatest empires the world has ever known. Today, we're going on a journey through time, tracing the dramatic rise and spectacular fall of the Roman monetary system. From humble beginnings to the gold standard of the ancient world, and then a collapse so total it would take Europe 1,000 years to recover. So grab your metaphorical metal detector, because we're about to unearth some incredible history. The story begins, as many Roman stories do, not with a bang, but with a bronze lump. In the early days of the Roman Republic, around the 5th century BC, they didn't have coins as we know them. They used rough cast bronze ingots called aes rude. Imagine going to the market and paying for your bread with a chunk of metal that had to be weighed on a scale every single time. It was cumbersome, inefficient, and hardly the mark of a burgeoning power. But Rome was ambitious. As their influence grew across the Italian peninsula, they saw what their Greek neighbors were doing with beautifully struck silver coins. The Romans, ever the savvy adapters, thought, we can do that, but bigger and better. Around 280 BC, they started producing their own cast bronze coins, the aes grave or heavy bronze. These things were massive, some weighing a full Roman pound. They were decorated with images of gods and goddesses, like Janus, the two-faced god of beginnings and endings, a fitting symbol for the dawn of Roman coinage. The real game changer, however, came during the brutal Punic Wars against Carthage. War is expensive, and Rome needed a more flexible and widely accepted currency to pay its soldiers and fund its massive military machine. This necessity gave birth to the iconic Roman denarius around 211 BC. This small silver coin, roughly the size of a modern dime, was a masterpiece of standardization. It was worth 10 of the new bronze aes coins, hence the name denarius, from the Latin for containing 10. For the next 400 years, the denarius was king. It was the dollar of the ancient world. From the misty shores of Britain to the deserts of Syria, the denarius was the standard. Its silver content was remarkably pure, around 95–98%, which built immense trust. When you held a denarius, you knew you were holding real value. The designs also evolved. In the Republic, they featured ancestral portraits and scenes celebrating family achievements. But when Julius Caesar put his own living face on a coin, he broke a major taboo and set a precedent. From then on, the emperor's portrait became the standard. The coin was no longer just money. It was a personal message from the most powerful man in the world, broadcast to every corner of the empire. I am in charge, it said. This is my empire. Under the early emperors like Augustus, the system was a well-oiled machine. He introduced the gold aureus, stabilized the silver denarius, and created a range of bronze and brass coins for everyday transactions. The economy boomed. This period, the Pax Romana, was fueled by a stable, trustworthy currency. You could trade with confidence, knowing the coin in your pouch would be accepted anywhere. This financial stability was the bedrock of the empire's golden age. But empires, like coins, can be debased, and the cracks in Rome's financial foundation began to show in the 3rd century. The crisis of the 3rd century was a perfect storm of civil war, barbarian invasions, and political instability. Emperors were rising and falling so fast it was like a deadly game of musical chairs. Each new emperor needed to pay the army to secure their loyalty, but the state's coffers were empty. The mines in Spain were running dry and there wasn't enough new silver and gold coming in, so they resorted to a disastrous short-term solution: debasement. They started mixing the silver in the denarius with cheaper metals like copper and bronze. At first, it was subtle. Under Emperor Nero, the silver content dropped from 98% to about 90%. barely noticeable. But as the crisis deepened, the debasement accelerated at a terrifying rate. By the mid-3rd century, the coin that looked like a silver denarius was in reality just a bronze coin with a microscopic silver wash. It was a monetary fake, perpetrated by the government itself. The public wasn't stupid. They knew they were being cheated. People started hoarding the older, purer silver coins. This is Gresham's law in action. Bad money drives out good. Why would you spend a pure silver coin from Augustus's reign when you could pass off a nearly worthless one from the current emperor? The good coins vanished from circulation, hidden away in pots and buried for safekeeping, which is why so many of these hoards are found by archaeologists today. The result was hyperinflation. Prices skyrocketed. A measure of wheat that cost 200 denarii at the start of the 3rd century could cost millions by the end of it. People lost all faith in the currency. Their life savings, held in denarii, became worthless. Imagine your bank account being wiped out overnight. The economy ground to a halt. Trade broke down. People reverted to barter, trading goods for goods, just like in the days of the As Rude 1,000 years earlier. The sophisticated, interconnected economy of the Roman Empire simply imploded. Soldiers, paid in worthless money, often demanded to be paid in food and supplies instead. Emperors like Diocletian and Constantine tried desperately to fix the mess. Diocletian issued his famous edict on maximum prices, attempting to set legal limits on the cost of everything from eggs to labor. It was a complete failure. Merchants simply stopped selling goods rather than sell them at a loss. Constantine had more success by introducing a new stable gold coin, the solidus. The solidus would remain the standard of the Byzantine Empire for centuries, but it was a coin for the rich. For the common person, the damage was done. The monetary system that had once united the empire was now shattered. The collapse of the coinage didn't cause the fall of Rome on its own, but it was a massive, fatal symptom of the wider decay. It eroded trust, destroyed the economy, and made it impossible for the state to function effectively. When you can't pay your soldiers or your administrators with money they can trust, your empire is living on borrowed time. So, the next time you see a Roman coin in a museum, look closely. You're not just seeing the face of an emperor. You're seeing a story of ambition, power, stability, and then a tragic decline into chaos and collapse. It's a powerful reminder that the trust we place in our money is the invisible glue that holds our complex societies together. And once that trust is broken, it's incredibly hard to put back together. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey through Roman history. If you found this fascinating, please hit that like button. And be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the past. Let me know in the comments what ancient mystery you'd like us to explore next. Until then, stay curious.